What up, peeps? Welcome back to episode number 48 today of the Road to Glory career mode. It's been a few days since we last did one of these, so I'll help you guys catch up on what's been going on. So, last episode, we played 2 games in the Champions League. We played one against Celta Vigo, which we ended up winning. I think 2-1 that one finished. And we played against PSG. The PSG game, we played at the Parc des Princes and absolutely battered the French club, and yet only got a 1-1 draw. It felt very much like it was in real life just gone for Arsenal against Atletico Madrid in the Europa League, of course. Different case in the aspect that we were still playing against 11 players. We were leading 1-0 right up until the final few minutes, and then Neymar pops up to equalise for Paris. So, unfortunately, the Champions League group right now isn't looking fantastic. We're sat within the position of, I think, first or second on 5 points. PSG are also on 5 points. Celta Vigo are on 4 points. And our opponents in today's episode, Celtic, see themselves bottom on a single point. But we'll do all that later on. For now, there's going to be 3 games for you to watch. This one first coming in the Premier League against Brighton. A round of 16 Carabao Cup tie against Leicester. And then, as I said, that Champions League tie up against Celtic. I'm also doing this post-com, guys, because I came from work pretty late last night on Saturday night. I finished at 10, got in at about 11:15, and so I couldn't really record live because people were sleeping in my house. So I had to wait, record it as post-com, and do it right now. So the first game against Brighton is about to come up for you at the Amex Stadium. It's our strongest lineup in our starting 11, as you would know, barring, of course, Ezri Konsa, who is unfortunately still out injured. But everyone else on the pitch is the usual suspects that we're expecting to see. So when the game got underway, we felt pretty confident. We were playing some good stuff. And when we took the lead, playing this type of football, I was loving life right now. This team, I don't know what it is about it, but they feel so good when we're going forward that I genuinely think, again, we're going to have a really good season in front of goal. And Calvert-Lewin is the man that opens up the scoring with his 7th Premier League goal of the season. Bearing in mind, he missed, I think, maybe the first couple of games in the Premier League this year, and yet he is the top scorer in the division. We were saying that Donis was going to be Brereton's replacement. Well, maybe I was wrong, because maybe it was going to be Calvert-Lewin instead. So it's his 7th of this season, and it's our first of the afternoon against Brighton, in which I was feeling really good about it, because as I said, you know, the way we scored that one, the way we played in order to set the move up and everything, it was just so fluid and so nice that you could tell we were in some good stuff at the moment. But 12 minutes in, we've nearly had a second, and quite honestly, I don't know how we didn't. Look at this. The ball from Gaia is inch perfect. Donis is unmarked in the middle of the box, and somehow he can't hit the target of his volley. Gets it completely wrong, miskicks it, and genuinely, I have no idea how we're not 2-0 up. But we kept the pressure on Brighton. We were closing down so quickly and making sure they had no time at all. 21 minutes in, El Ghazi gets himself on the score sheet as well, with this shot here set up by Donis, who should have scored, of course, but we'll let that slide now, seeing as how he's just assisted a goal for El Ghazi. And inside 22 minutes, we were 2-0 up, and looked like this one could have been 4 or maybe even 5 if we keep going the way we are. Another good finish, though, this time from Anwar. He's also chipped in, not as much as maybe I would like him to, of course. I had him, you know, last year, and he was sensational in FIFA 17, but I don't know what it is. Maybe this time around, it's just not quite as you know, the game for him. But even so, it's his, I think, 3rd or 4th of the season as well. So, yeah, 4. So, between him and Calvert-Lewin, that's 11 Premier League goals, not counting the 6 that Donis has as well. And I wonder if our front 3 can be anything like the front 3, of course, that Liverpool have in real life. That would be insane, wouldn't it? To get them have, like, ridiculous amounts of goals, it would be just crazy. But I don't know how we didn't concede, so you know what? We should have scored with Donis, and that should be that, and I felt a bit unlucky that we didn't, but right there, luck was on our side. Not only did Brighton hit the woodwork once, they hit it again straight after. If you watch that back, that's the stuff you see in football comedy videos right there. I don't know how on earth we didn't concede and lose our clean sheet, but as the game was coming to a close, not too long left in it, Pritchard should have made it 3-0. Honestly, this episode was just strange. It was a strange one. Oh, the game, sorry, anyway, was strange, because we had that chance with Donis. They hit the woodwork twice, then Pritchard does that. Then we eventually get through. Calvert-Lewin, again, look on our side. He shoots, the keeper saves it, and it bounces straight back to him, and he squeezes it in from, I wouldn't say a tight angle, but it certainly wasn't the easiest thing in the world. Keeper manages to get back up, and he did have him to beat, but in the end, he manages to get it through the both of them, and with that left foot, makes it 3-0 to Crew Alexandra, grabbing his 2nd on the day, taking him to 8 for the season in total. Sensational stuff from our new man. £21 million is what he cost us. If you remember as well, we picked up Ben Brereton for a cheap fee, sold him for 40.3 or whatever it was. And then we pick up Dominic Calvert-Lewin for 21 million. You know, we've had some bargains in this side. And that brought to a close game number 1 of today's episode. 3 points in the Prem and another good performance as well to add to it. So as I said, I tell you what, we'll make this interesting. If you guys have a prediction of how many goals between Anwar El Ghazi, Donis and Calvert-Lewin will have at the end of this season, then hit me up with a comment. Because I think there'll be someone out there who probably will predict it. So right now in the Premier League, I'm going to go Premier League own. I don't want like all competitions. We'll just use Premier League. So how many Premier League goals do you think that Anwar El Ghazi, Donis and Calvert-Lewin is going to score between the three of them between now and the end of this Premier League campaign? I'm going to go for 52. I think they'll score 52 goals between them as a front three. That's my prediction anyways. We'll see if that's going to come true. But into the next one then. As I said, we did have the round of 16 game up against Leicester. So here that one is right now for you to enjoy. We are playing at the King Power Stadium and their side is pretty decent. There's 9 changes to the side that defeated Brighton moments ago in this one. The only 2 players to retain their place in the squad were Reece Nelson and James Tarkowski. Other than that, it was a massively changed side from Crew Alexandra. Pretty much, I would say, our second team, if I had to say it. Leicester's have got a few decent players still out there. Bentaleb, Musa, a couple of really tough players to deal with as well. Good defenders in Ake as well, and Conan at the back. So they've got a decent squad. But for us, that is our team. As I said, 9 changes to it. And different midfield 3. Semi-different back 4. Of course, Olanare as well in goal in place of Green. And the only man to retain his place was Reece Nelson, who plays in a more advanced role today. He played centre mid against Brighton, but this time around he's playing out on that wing position. And 10 minutes in, Delgado, our centre defensive midfielder, not quite sure why he's in that position, but when he got there, he needs to do better with that strike. You know, in a game where it's probably going to be not many chances, he's got to go back across the goalkeeper for me. I don't know why he tried to go that side of the keeper, but we were playing some good stuff and felt pretty confident as Reece Nelson gets sent through here by Michael Kinsella. He does the business, and this is why you always need to have at least one quality player out there, because as long as you feed them the ball, they can do things like that with it. Reece Nelson cuts inside his man on that left mid spot, and with his right foot curls it into the top corner to make it Leicester City 0, Crew Alexandra 1. Unfortunate for Nathan Ake, he tries his best to slide in when he realises he's beaten, and the keeper can't do much about it either. Great strike, Nelson. Arguably, though, you know, looking at it, does he mean to get it as close as he does to that top corner, or is it a slight mishit from him? We'll see. But enough about that, because we did take the lead, and it was one of the men who retained their place in the side since that Brighton result that gets us in the lead. So great play from Kinsella actually to set him up as well. Nice through ball. But after that, Leicester got themselves into it. Musa is a pain in the backside. I really don't like playing against Ahmed Musa because he's so fast and he just seems to get in these positions that you don't want to see him in there. A good save, though, by Olanare stops him scoring to make the score 1-1. As we go into the second half, it's again Musa causing the problems, whips in the cross here, and at the back post, they managed to get the header goal bound, but again, a good save from our goalkeeper. It keeps the score at 1-0. And in the 90th minute, we go now, trying to find potentially that second, but we knew it was about to be the end of the game, as Zivkovic finds an unmarked Reece Nelson, who couldn't double the advantage and double his goals for the afternoon. His strike hits the ground and bounces over the top of the crossbar, but ultimately we got the 1-0 victory and we are through to the Carabao Cup quarter final. As you know, we have to win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League with Crew, and we are yet to win an FA Cup or Carabao Cup. That's the only 2 left in England that we need to win in terms of the series. So Premier League's done. Carabao Cup and FA Cup is where it's at. I think I'm probably going to focus on the Carabao Cup a little bit more just because we're in a more advanced stage. Then probably if we get to like an FA Cup quarter-final, I'll start to focus on that as well. But I don't want to be playing like the earlier rounds and stuff. I decided to sim the next game. It was against Leicester, this time in the Premier League. You can see, back to our strongest starting 11. It was actually Reece Nelson again who scores against them in the 22nd minute. They did pull one back though. But eventually we found a second one. Dominic Iorfa with it from right back. And then we took a third as well after Donis gave us another one. So felt confident at this point. But take a look at that bottom right hand side of your screen. Bournemouth 3, Manchester City 0 at the Etihad. What on earth is happening with Man City at the moment? Crazy scenes over there. If they get relegated, it could be one of the biggest upsets in world football. To add to that, Everton also beat Manchester United by 2-1 as well. So, yeah, two very interesting results for the Manchester clubs there. Both of them as well being at their respective homes. One at the Etihad, one at Old Trafford, and yet they were both defeated as well. So maybe that's a good sign for us having to go there still. But enough about that, because we move into what could be a vital game. That's the group stage. PSG remain undefeated. We remain undefeated. Celta Vigo are below us, a point behind, and Celtic obviously are in the last position after 1 point. They drew the opening group stage game with us after a 1-1 draw after we took the lead from Michael Kinsella. This time around, we are playing and we want to get the victory against them. How we didn't get a victory in the game one, I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because we need to focus on this one. I feel like we have to win this game because of the group stage being so close that we just don't know what the result in the other game is going to be either. So I feel like we need to win this one. But Celtic getting a free kick inside the first 3 minutes here. I think it was Lee Griffiths who stood over it. He struck it goal-bound. Not quite sure why Green didn't deal with it. They get the header back in. And, of course, our defending is atrocious. And the man that struck the woodwork moments ago with a free kick gives the away side the lead inside the 5th minute. Again, though, I was really disappointed in Green because kind of flapped at it, and then he doesn't do well on the return from Lee Griffiths, and then more injury problems. Dominic Iorfa picking up one right now. So that forced me to kind of change my tactics a little bit, which might have been a bad decision, because as you can see, I went back in. I looked at this and I thought, to be honest, I don't really want to play this kind of side. So I switched it to a 3-back. I went with a 3-4-1-2. And that's like kind of how I did it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why I did it this way. I should have probably kept the same and just played Tarkowski at right back. Because when you're 1-0 down and you switch your tactics to something that you've not tried before, it either works wonders or it just doesn't work at all. And that's kind of what happened. As I said, you learn from your mistakes, and I probably shouldn't have switched to the 3-back formation because I just didn't feel as comfortable when I was on the ball as I did with that 4-3-2-1. So I probably should have just kept it with that one. But El Ghazi here, trying to get us back in the game, hits his strike straight at the Celtic goalkeeper. And at that point, I was just kind of a bit annoyed and frustrated with the way we were playing, and Celtic then kind of knew this and went forward. Lee Griffiths was causing problems all afternoon long, and he went close again, hitting the woodwork from that one there. Eventually, we dealt with it, and we went into the last 10 minutes. Calvert-Lewin looking to try and find something for us, but his shot is weak and tame and straight at the hands of the Celtic man. And then with 3 minutes left, Marko Grujic tries one from distance. But again, I don't know what the keeper was on, but he was on a mad one because he pulled off at least 3 or 4 quality saves in this afternoon to stop us from finding an equaliser. And just as I was saying about the group stage being close, well, it's even closer now because we lost by 1-0 to Celtic. And that now means that after the draw with Celta Vigo and PSG are on 6 points, us and Celta Vigo are on 5, and Celtic are on 4, with 2 games remaining left in the group stage. This one is way too close to call. I don't know if it'd be seen as a bad thing for us to not get out of groups in our first Champions League run, but given the fact of the way the group stage is going right now, it is just way too close to call. As I'm showing you as well, we actually pulled West Ham in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, so it should be quite an interesting one, that one. That will be played next episode out. Just to let you know as well, there'll be no video from me tomorrow, guys, because I'm having to go and work in my parents' business. My mum had an operation during the week, and so she can't work. So between me and the rest of my family, we're all kind of covering and doing it. So I'll be there all day tomorrow, and unfortunately I have to work tonight as well at my other job. So yeah, go figure, I can't make it tonight. But enough about that. I'll see you all again on Tuesday at 4 PM. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated, and I'll catch you all again on Tuesday, guys. See you all then. Adios.